You know that feeling when everything looks fine from the outside, but something inside you is just off? I'm 84 years old, and I want to tell you something that took me most of my life to understand. Not because I'm wise, but because I made enough mistakes to finally see clearly. My name doesn't matter. What matters is that I was you once. I had the same energy, the same hunger. I thought I knew exactly what a good life looked like. I built a career, a real one. Started from nothing, worked my way up, stayed late when everybody else went home. My boss used to say, if you want something done, give it to the man who's already busy. And I was proud of that, genuinely proud. I wore that busyness like a medal. My wife, Eleanor, she used to wait up for me. Early in the marriage, she'd have dinner warm on the stove. She never said much, just waited. And I'd come in, eat fast, talk about the office, fall asleep. I thought that was love. Providing, showing up financially, keeping the lights on. I was wrong. See, nobody tells a young man that the woman sitting across from him at dinner is slowly counting how many nights she eats alone. Nobody tells you that children stop running to the door after a while. They stop expecting you. And when a child stops expecting you, something in them goes quiet. I didn't notice. I was too busy building a life to actually live in it. And I want you to really hear what I'm saying right now. Not hear it like advice from some old man on a screen. Hear it like a warning from your future self, because I am your future self, if you keep going the way you're going. Eleanor was a patient woman. That's what everybody said at her funeral. She was so patient, and they meant it as a compliment. I sat there in that front row and I thought, patient. Yes, she was patient. She waited her whole life for me to show up fully, and I never did, not the way she needed. We were married 51 years. 51. And I can tell you with complete honesty that maybe 12 of those years I was actually present, really there, not thinking about the next deal, the next promotion, the next problem at work. The other years I was physically in the house, but I was somewhere else entirely. She used to say, I don't need more money, I need more of you. And I used to think that was just something wives say. I used to think she'd understand eventually. That when I retired, when things slowed down, we'd have all the time in the world. We didn't. She got sick at 71. And the cruelest thing about illness is it doesn't care about your plans. It doesn't say, okay, wait, let him finish this last project, let him make things right first. It just arrives. And I remember sitting next to her hospital bed one night, holding her hand. She looked at me, not angry, not bitter, just tired. And she said, I just wanted you to choose me. Not every day, just more days than not. I had no answer, because she was right. I had chosen the office. I had chosen the title. I had chosen the version of myself that the world applauded, and the person who loved me without applause. I made her wait in the quiet. Don't do that to someone who loves you quietly. Those are the ones who leave the biggest holes. After she passed, I had all the time in the world. Funny how that works, isn't it? I retired 6 months after we buried her. Big send-off at the office, cake, speeches, a gold watch. And I mean that literally, they gave me a gold watch. I stood there smiling and shaking hands, and inside I kept thinking, what do I do with this now? The house was quiet in a way I wasn't prepared for. Not peaceful quiet, empty quiet. There's a difference. Peaceful quiet is when you choose to sit in a room alone. Empty quiet is when you realize nobody is coming home. I used to walk through the kitchen in the morning and reach for 2 coffee cups out of habit. Every single morning for almost a year. 2 cups. Then I'd remember, and I'd put one back. That small thing nearly broke me every day. My son, Robert, he called once a week. Dutiful, polite. But there was distance there that I had created. Years of missed school plays. Birthdays where I showed up late or not at all. A teenage boy who stopped bringing his problems to me because he learned early that Dad was busy. He didn't say any of this. He didn't need to. I could feel it in the way he talked to me. Respectful, careful, like talking to someone he knew but didn't quite trust with the real things. That's what years of absence does. It doesn't make people hate you. It just makes them keep a certain distance, a polite, permanent distance. And you can't explain your way out of it. You can't sit down at 80 and say, I'm sorry, I was wrong, let me make it up to you. You can say it. They'll even forgive you. but the closeness that was never built, you can't build it backwards. Time doesn't work that way. I want to tell you about the moment I finally understood everything. Not a big, dramatic moment. Nothing like the movies. It was a Tuesday afternoon, ordinary gray sky outside. I was sitting in the garden Eleanor used to tend. The roses she planted were still growing. Nobody was taking care of them properly, but they kept growing anyway. Stubborn things, roses. And my granddaughter, she was maybe 7 years old, she came and sat next to me. Didn't say anything at first. Just sat there, swinging her little legs off the bench. And then she looked up and said, "Grandpa, what was Grandma like when she was young?" And I opened my mouth to answer. And I realized I didn't know. I knew facts. I knew she liked the window seat in restaurants. I knew she hummed when she cooked. I knew her laugh. But who she was when she was young, what she dreamed about, what she was afraid of, what she wanted from life beyond the life we built together, I had never asked. 51 years. And I had never sat down and asked my wife who she truly was inside, because I was always busy, always somewhere else in my head, always on to the next thing. I looked at that little girl with her innocent question, and I felt something crack open in my chest. Not break. Crack open, like something that had been sealed for a very long time, finally letting air in. I had shared a bed with a woman for half a century, and I had been a stranger to her inner world. That is my deepest regret. Not the missed promotions, not the business decisions that went wrong, not any of it, just that I never truly learned the person who chose me. And she deserved to be learned, completely, slowly, every single year. So here I am, 84 years old, sitting in a garden full of roses I didn't plant, in a house full of memories I was too busy to make properly, with a family that loves me the way you love someone you never fully knew. And I'm talking to you, not because I have answers, but because you still have time. Real time, not the kind I had at the end. Rushed, guilty, too aware of every ticking second. The good kind. The kind where you can still choose differently tomorrow morning. I want you to do something for me tonight. Just one thing. Go find the person who waits for you. The one who eats dinner quietly when you come home distracted. The one who stopped complaining because they got tired of not being heard. The one who loves you in that steady, undramatic way that's so easy to take for granted. Sit down with them, not with your phone nearby, not half thinking about work. Really sit down, look at their face, and ask them something you've never asked before. Something real, something that says, "I see you," not just as my wife, my husband, my parent, my child, but as a whole separate person with a whole inner world. Because that world is disappearing every single day. And one morning you will reach for 2 coffee cups and only need 1. And all the promotions, all the titles, all the things you stayed late at the office for, none of it will come sit with you in that kitchen. None of it. I built everything the world told me to build, and I left unbuilt the only thing that actually mattered. Don't let them hand you a gold watch someday and realize too late what you traded for it. The roses are still growing. Tend to yours while you can.